Welcome to SBA Today for the week of October 14th, 2024, where our motto is likely helpful, definitely entertaining. Good morning, Tanya. How are you this morning?
Well, I'm well, but as you can tell, Barbie called and wants her clothes back.
Yeah.
But she can't have them. She can't have them. They're mine. Anyway, all right. Now, what are we talking about today? We're going to talk about the SBA Connect Call that went on last week on October 8th. We're going to dive in and dig in deep. So there you go. That's all. That's it.
Cool. Well, yeah, it's short and sweet today, but we're going to dive in deep. So let's start in with our story. And so what I want to share with everyone is, we get really busy at times and we focus on revenue. We focus on the loan booking. We focus on our process. We focus on all of these different things that we do within our day in SBA lending. But I'll tell you right now, what is common that does not happen is sharing what we really do every day. What do we really do every day? And that is we help customers get into buildings, get into businesses, etc. And I think one of the things that has been awesome for my team is we are sharing in our meetings one loan that we booked the previous week, and we're diving into that loan and we're sharing it with the processors, the closers, the underwriters, the entire SBA team. What is it that we're doing? So, for example, last week we helped a person buy a business. And it was a lot more than just, hey, we booked a loan for whatever dollar amount. Okay. We helped them grow their net worth. We helped somebody that had a net worth of, $600,000, $700,000 buy into a business that they've worked at for 17 years. Those are the things that we need to focus on as leaders and within our meetings of what we actually do. And ever since I started doing that, my team is absolutely loving that because they're really understanding the why. And that's something that I'm really working on hard this year is stating the why. What is the context? And this is a great example of the why.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I love doing this. My team loves it. And I strongly recommend you within your team meetings to share. Who did you book last week? And let's talk about the deal and how that made them, how it made them better.
Well, you know what, Paul? I'm going to go off on a tangent on this one because Tanya loves the why, right? Mm-hmm. What is your why? And I would tell everybody, in addition to only doing it with their teams, man, what is your why in general? What makes you wake up in the morning and get out of bed? What is it that creates you moving forward or bringing yourself out there to others, right? Now, whether you're a business owner, starting your new business, what's your why in starting that business? Because that's what's going to have you move forward. That's what's going to have you advance above somebody else, right? Is you've got that purpose down deep in your belly. Now, my why is to be in service of others. I could do that in any industry I'm in, right? I just happen to be an SBA. So I get to help small businesses. I get to help others. We get to put this information out there that is helpful to others. Let's hope, right? That is my why. It's not the money. I'm not money driven. Now, do we all need money? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's not like I'm, doing everything for free and I'm a martyr. But at the same time, my why is deeper within me. My why is my purpose, and it's to be in service of others. So I would challenge everybody. I'm gonna move on this one. Yes. I would challenge everybody else out there to recognize and look at what your why is. Bring it to your teams. Bring it to your fellow employees. Bring it to the people that you work with and the clients, because they're going to appreciate it and know, who you are from that. Anyway, sorry, had to go off on my tiny tangent.
It's super passionate. I'm super passionate about it. I know you are too. And that's why we give our time doing this podcast, is doing that. So, do it within your own teams too. You'll be amazed.
100%.
You'll be amazed. So, hey, let's jump into the SBA Connect Call. So if you have an extra hour and a half to 2 hours in your day, feel free to listen to it. However, or you can spend the next 5-10 minutes and get everything you needed to know from here, SBA Today. So I'm going to pull out some of the things that I thought were interesting and notable within the Connect Call. There was nothing major, I'll tell you that right now, but I do think there is some interesting things. One of the things is the Loan Guarantee Processing Center, LGPC, was showing some of their stats, and I thought these were kind of interesting. One is, this is for last month. I'm sorry, year to date, those E-Tran compliance checks, 14,381 that they had to work with, and 68 in the last 30 days. That's pretty crazy, I thought. And their average response is 1 hour. Okay, I'm not sure if I agree with all the stats. I'll play along. I know. 7A questions, and I'm telling you, if you guys don't use 7A questions, they're great, and it runs through there. So far, year to date, 26,930 emails. How'd you like to see that in your inbox? The last 30 days, 107, with a response time of 1.5 days. And I will say, they're actually quicker than that.
Yes.
I'm going the other way. I'm giving them the kudos, because there are times where at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'll shoot something over, and by 5 o'clock, I have an answer, and I'm always amazed by it. So,
well, I think it's because you're awesome. They know it's Paul coming in. They're like,
oh, so does it take a week when you
everything? Let's answer Paul. I've had both, but the vast majority, yes, they have gotten quicker, because I'm going to tell you right now, my typical go-to was Steve White, which is our team lead, right, for SBA here in Colorado. Freaking awesome. If y'all don't know him. I would go to him first, because he would get me the answers needed prior to me being able to get any kind of a question answered with 7A, but they've gotten way better. So the response times are definitely much better. So I love it. Yes.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to use 7A questions.
Absolutely.
They're, sometimes they'll give me a response that'll be like, well, if you read it in the SOP, and I'm like, hey.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes the answers aren't actually answers, and sometimes we have to just redo our question or ask it just a bit different. So
correct. And then another thing to add on there too, is that they mentioned that, oh shoot, it was right on the tip of my tongue. Come on, hold on. It's coming. And it's gone. Cool. All right. It'll come back. It'll come back again.
Are you talking about the compliance checks and how they're going?
Yeah, the compliance checks. And I just realized what it was. So what happens is sometimes you cannot take what they say in 7A questions and legally put that in your file and say, well, that's what they said.
Right.
You can't do that. It's to guide you, but it all depends on what the rule is you're talking about. Is it a CFR or is it something else? So just a heads up on that.
Whoever you get, I mean, come on, they're people too, right? And they're going to give you their translation of it. I have found you could send it back and get somebody different and get a slightly different answer. Doesn't mean it's not leading you the wrong direction. Don't get me wrong, but you might have more information in one answer than you do in another's answer.
Yeah, anyway. Absolutely. And I will even admit sometimes, and I'll even say this publicly, if it's a really kind of a weird, complicated question that I'm doing, I'll send it to 7A questions, and as a Nagel member, I send it also to the info at Nagel, and have them review it as well. And they're always perfect with each other, but Nagel does a good job of kind of giving a little bit more context, I will say. So thank you to Nagel and to 7A questions.
Right.
Next thing to go over, the Working Capital Pilot Program. Well, 60 days in. And are you ready for how many loans they've done? Are you sitting down? 17.
Big numbers.
I kind of expected a little bit more than that. So 17 on there. I'm sorry, my bad. 10 deals. Sorry, 10 deals for 15.3 million. So if you're doing that, that is definitely an option on that. So just wanted to share that with you.
And you signed up to do it, didn't you?
Yes, I signed up, but I'm still waiting to be number 18 of that. So I'm still waiting. So we'll see how that goes. Next thing is subordination on idols. Now, this is a 7A podcast, but at the same point too, it's really important that we understand, because we run into this all the time within our loans, within our conventional loans, all of that. So on the subordination requests, they are based. Remember, if it's an SBA loan that you're trying to get a subordination request for, you automatically move to the top of the pile. So SBA gets priority. Okay. If you're a conventional trying to subordinate the EIDL, they're going to run through it. It's going to take a little bit longer. They may ask you to pay down the loan. That is now a common thing. They may ask you to pay off the loan. That is also another thing. So just be very careful with that. And it all depends on on kind of why you're doing the conventional loan on there. So keep that in mind.
Well, and also, I mean, the IDO was put out there for a specific reason. So if that reason all of a sudden is changing, then that money needs to be paid off. Do you know what I mean? Like if somebody's buying into a company or doing something different or expanding, and that wasn't the initial meaning for the IDO loan, then yeah, they're going to want you to pay that down or pay it off, because that's no longer the intended purpose of that thing.
Exactly. They're saying subordinations are taking 1 to 2 business days for review and 3 to 5 for documentation.
Right.
I'm going to go with probably a little longer than that. But that's what they say. So always remember that there's hardship accommodations that are a part of those loans too. So if you need to use something like that.
And Paul, did you see that? I mean, I'm going to kind of go backwards a little bit. Ray brought up a very good point. I wanted to ask you the same question. Why do you think lenders aren't responding to the working capital program?
In my opinion, there is too much. There's still too much what if. Okay, and let me give you an example. And I've tried to run this through the program. Okay, a government contract. Okay, it was like a $15 million government contract, and they have to come up with a certain point, etc. The bottom line is, it's not for government contracts.
Right.
Well, what the hell is it for? Like, I mean, it's working capital, and you don't have to export. But I don't understand. I think there's a lot of mystery that's still there, and I think they need to clear up some of that. It is a pilot program, but again, I've tried to use it, and it doesn't work for government contracts. Well, then what's the point of it? I can't. Cap line, same type of thing. So I think they still need to figure out what they want to be when they grow up. In my opinion.
Just like I do. Hey.
Right.
Weird. Yeah, I think Ray should just come and join us on the show, dadgummit. Listen, look at him. He is talking about the ringtone. Come on.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mute my phone.
Is your ringtone just the two of us? I'm going to ask because he did.
No.
I don't know. Anyway.
But yeah, that's pretty much for the Connect Call. Like I said, there's nothing major on there, but I just wanted to share those key things that came out over the hour and a half. If you ever have an opportunity to listen to those, please do so. There are actually a lot of great information, especially even on the 504. There's a 504 Connect Call. Do the same on that.
Right. What happened? I'm going to ask you then. I'm just going to ask what. I'm throwing this out there, and you don't even know what's coming. So this is.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah. What happened to you last week, or did you have anything last week that was unusual that came out of the woodworks when it came to either any of your team members with any of their deals, or any of your own? Was there anything that kind of surprised you a bit, or?
Tanya, I don't even remember what I had for breakfast yesterday, and you're asking me about last week. I've.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, wow.
Well, okay, I have a question. Okay.
Please save me.
Well, as far as like, okay, what are you guys doing in the oil and gas sector? Are you doing anything in oil and gas?
Dear God, no. Do you?
Now, what about if it's already like, it's not, oh gosh, it's not speculative anymore, right? That they've already got the stores or the reserves or whatnot like that. You still aren't doing anything with them?
I'm in Washington, Oregon, and Idaho, where we're the most electric focus. Yeah. I'm so thankful that I don't have to deal with oil and gas.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, yeah, no, I'd gotten a couple, and I'm trying to figure out if we are doing much at all. But it really, I guess the question that came to my mind is how banks sometimes will do something and then they won't. And you don't always know from the front end. Right. From the loan officer perspective on the front end of, you get the client calling and you've done it before and it's not unusual, but then all of a sudden, we're not as comfortable with it anymore. So anyway, the weed stores, Ray Drew, what the heck? Tanya, how's all the weed stores in Colorado? Really?
Hey, it's legal in Washington too, and I still get requests
in
all the time.
A lot of places. I mean, why don't you just start asking me how are the shroom stores? And come on, right? Anyway. Anyway. All right. Well, I think we've kind of beat a dead horse at this one. Yep. I mean, there's tons out there on the Connect Call. I got lots from it. Yes, I was not able to be on it, but because of my co-host kind of forcing me, I did. I'm kidding. I did watch it, but it was late. Anyway, there was a lot to be garnered, so do go check it out. Anyway, next Tuesday, if you want us live again, 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 11, I guess, Eastern Standard Time. We'll be right here on LinkedIn and YouTube live. Otherwise, any of the streaming platforms where you get your podcast. If you are heavy duty in the SBA world, please go check out our family of podcasts, which is the Art of SBA Lending and the BDO Show. And who knows what else we come up with at some point, or should I, Also, if you are in Oregon, Washington, let's see here. Let me go back. Oregon, Washington, Idaho. Why can I not get those three together?
I know, right?
Anyway, reach out to Paul Long at Gisa Credit Union. He can help you out there, or one of his team members. And if you are in Colorado, Texas, Missouri, Florida, Arizona, North Carolina, and Tennessee. Is that all of them? Who knows what's tomorrow? Then reach out to me, Tanya Mazurek at Midwest Regional Bank. Anyway, we have loved having you guys on here. We've loved sharing what we've got. Hopefully it was helpful, and we will see you guys next Tuesday.
See you later.
All right, bye.